welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I'm the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas.
And I'm Becky, store manager at the Modern Skein.
It's been a while since we podcast. I think actually, because that last podcast got uploaded like a week late, it may not seem like it according to the YouTube, but
on our end,
it's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Bear with me. I have like a fuzzy on my face and I cannot get it off, so I'm gonna be touching my face ridiculously today.
Good.
I also cut my hair.
Yeah.
So.
Fun story about this one. She said, "Oh, I'm going to go cut my hair off at 9:45," and I said, "Okay." And I was like, "All right." She decided she didn't want long hair anymore, so I'm anticipating I don't know what I was anticipating, but I was anticipating a lot of hair. Oh gosh.
I wanted a fresh start for summer, not a mental breakdown.
But it's cute.
No, I haven't done it in like 2 or 3 years. But if you've watched the podcast for a while, I used to have this fun little bob. And a couple years ago, I did it with highlights. Me and blonde highlights don't go. I'm a nice dark hair gal, so I like it. I'm actually thinking I'm probably going to go a little shorter or more layers. It's a little bit blunt, but I also have to refigure out how I like to style it.
Yeah. I feel like that's always that weird sad hurdle after the perfect hairstyling from the hairstylist.
They're like,
done.
It's swoosh, and it's like, oh, it's amazing, and then it's like, wait, what'd they do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, welcome.
Yes.
I have absolutely no idea what number podcast this is.
10 something.
Yeah. That's as close as I can know.
Yeah.
Anywho, that doesn't really matter because it's listed along the bottom here. And you can tell we're a little rusty on podcasting because it's like, I don't know where to start. But we usually start with our finished objects. And I am wearing said finished object. Yes, there's a... I just haven't cut my ends yet. They're woven in. They're just not trimmed.
You got one up on me. The 2 episodes I got, neither one have woven in ends at all.
So I'm going to stand up and show you guys this. So this is the...
Something Cozy.
Something Cozy, yes. Something Cozy by Shaina Billow. This was written for Chelsea Lux for her Cozy DK base, which we had in a trunk show a while back. That's what I used along with a strand of Biche and Bouche mohair. This is just a cute cropped. I have enough yarn, honestly, to lengthen it, but I kind of like, because it's so oversized for it to be cropped, I feel like it works better. It's like just a cozy sweatshirt. It's basically a giant rectangle with some sleeves, and then there's a little scoop neck shaping. So the colorway I used in the Cozy DK base, which is like a boucle, we don't stock it, and I don't think she has any on her website right now, but we should, fingers crossed, be getting it in the fall. This is the colorway Driftwood, and then I put beige mohair, the beige colorway from Biche and Bouche.
Gives it just a little bit of a warm glow in person.
Yeah, it's very, very subtle, but just enough. Gives it just that extra layer of fuzzy detail. Yeah. I'll show you the back. So obviously it comes up in the back a little bit as well, and then lower in the sides. Yeah. This is going to be like a fall layering piece for me. When it's... You wear a jacket in here, but then you need a little something in here, but you don't need the jacket. Yep. You need that just little something. That's going to be it. However, that will not be today because it's 90-something out here.
It's going to be real warm.
It's hot. So, by the way, there's another way you can wear these. I don't know if you've realized this, but you can wear it like a little shrug.
That's cute.
Then it's cute like so. Yes. You have kind of a little fun little hole right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still cute. And then it's like you have 2 garments in one.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't have to knit something twice.
Yes.
So there's a Espace Tricot free pattern out of the Loopy Mango, which you could easily do this pattern in Loopy Mango. That's kind of similar, different construction, but similar kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
And I wear that one that way as more of a shrug style than I ever do as a pullover. But
And this flew off of her needles.
this was a 3-day project.
Like, was a wild, I think it was like a Thursday. So we're open later, which I feel like helped a little bit. There was a lot of knitting time that day.
Now, granted, this is like on a 10.5 needle as well. So
yes,
you get through it fast. Even if you're not the world's fastest knitter, which I am not the world's fastest knitter, but I am on the faster side. Even if you're not, this is still probably at most, for most people, if you're working on it, I'll say every day for a couple hours a day, it's probably in reality a week, maybe 2 weeks if you don't work on it super often.
Yeah.
I also could see this is going to sound weird maybe, but buy the pattern and then do the Linny or the Max Cotton from Circulo. It will be at a super big gauge and it'll be like a little swimsuit cover up.
that would be
That
cute.
would be adorable.
I think the Linny, like that drape in the Linny is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really good.
That would be super cute because then you would really see. I mean, this is kind of at a looser gauge slightly. I want to say it's 12 or 13 stitch gauge for 4 inches, if I remember the pattern correctly. But doing that gauge with the Linny will just be like super open weave, which I don't know if you guys been to Target or anywhere else that sells swimsuit cover-ups lately. That kind of macrame crochet stuff is super popular. And you can knit your own little beach cover-up, which would be super cute. You could knit it longer, or you could, I think, the crop style, and then, like, I always have, like, those big, wide palazzo pants, and then, well, I mean, if you're, like, an Instagram influencer and, this big around, you can pop it over a cute bralette and go out on the town. I'm not, but, if you're watching, you can do that.
You do you.
You do you, exactly. But it would be a cute layering piece, like, over a tank top. Maybe you're going on vacation, you're going to the beach and you need a little something, going on a boat, whatever. Or maybe you live somewhere lucky that has a cool evening breeze.
Yeah. That, like, sweater, like, I used to live in Maine, and, like, evenings got chilly, and, like, especially I was working at a camp, so in the evenings we had campfire a lot. So that would have been, like, a really nice, I just imagine that was, like, that'd be a perfect thing to throw on over, like, your t-shirt.
Yeah.
Be a little bit cozy, a little bit warm.
That would be super fun, too, if you were at anywhere like desert-type climate vacation or live there.
Yep.
And you do, you want to go out and see the stars or whatever, because it always gets chilly in those kind of places like Arizona and New Mexico and stuff. That would be super fun. And either that kind of yarn, wool-based yarn, or with a cotton or a linen blend.
Yep.
So that was 9 minutes of blabbering about one sweater. So let's see your finished objects.
Okay. So both of these should be out by the time this podcast goes live. One of them is out right now, so I'm going to start there. This is... Yep, there we go. That is the back. This is my Color Story tee. This is a pattern by Tiff Neilan. It actually released yesterday. Yeah, real fun, worsted weight. Again, kind of a nice like throw over piece, a nice layering piece. I think that's probably the most use I would get out of it, is like throwing it on top of a dress or
high-waisted skirt.
Yeah, a high-waisted skirt. This one is in Brooklyn Tweed's new yarn Imbue. That was fun. I got to knit with it a little before it released.
And before everyone emails, I have checked with Brooklyn Tweed. Unfortunately, because Imbue is so limited,
Yes.
it's such a small batch yarn. It's way smaller than like Ranch or anything else. There are no stores that are going to be able to buy it to sell it in store. So that yarn Imbue, if you're wanting that yarn specifically, I know there's several designers that have come out with patterns for it. You do have to purchase it directly from Brooklyn Tweed.
Yep.
It is not going to be available in any stores, flagship or otherwise.
Yep.
It's sold as worsted weight, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a worsted weight, non-superwash, but a woolen spun. So it's like an arbor and shelter had a baby.
Yeah. You could easily substitute tones or shelter.
Probably could do arbor. You just have to be mindful of gauge.
Yeah, I would say just watch your gauge, but you could do arbor if you didn't want worsted weight. If you fall in love with a sweater but want to do it a little more budget friendly, Kelbourne Woolens Germantown would be a good option as well.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of color work, but the color work is super straightforward and easy. You're only working with one color at a time. And I think at most you have like a couple spots where there's like 4 stitches of a float. So I had to catch 0 floats in this project, which makes me very happy.
Definitely, I would say if you're new to color work but want to try it, this would be a good pattern. But you don't want to try maybe like, you're like, I want to go ahead and do a garment because maybe you're a well-seasoned garment knitter or whatever, but you haven't done color work. This would be a great one.
This is a great one. She gives options for cropped and regular length. I did do the cropped length because that's kind of one of the areas I'm trying to boost in my knitwear collection for layering. I did have to do a couple modifications. Hindsight is 20/20. I should have bought an extra skein when I was testing this pattern of my main color. Because by the time I got to the end of my yoke was a little bit bigger in gauge than it should have been. And so I think I ended up eating up some extra of my main color in that. And it meant that I ran low by the time I got to my sleeves and the body. I had to shorten about 5 rows in the body and 5 rows in the sleeves. I don't know. I have not seen the final pattern, but hopefully the final pattern has updated yardage information.
If it doesn't, I mean, it's always better to be on the safe side and get an extra skein.
It's one of those that I looked at I basically gave myself 15 yards of wiggle room, which was not a great choice looking back on it.
And the nice thing is if you are going to splurge on Brooklyn Tweed, because they're only 50-gram skeins,
yes,
you're not going to be left with a ton of leftover should you not have it, but you could still pop out a matching hat or a fun little pair of mitts or something like that.
And you do end up with a good bit of each of your contrast colors. You have 4 contrasts in there, so especially you could pair all that together to do a cute hat.
Do you think you could get away with maybe, I mean, obviously depending on size, but yardage-wise with just doing it in 2 different contrast colors if you didn't want to do 4?
I think so. There's actually, I saw one test sample that was done in just 2 colors. All of the color work was one, so it was kind of a cool, they did like the
monochromatic,
like a dark navy with like a, almost like more cerulean, kind of similar to like what you're wearing, maybe a touch lighter. And that was really, really pretty.
That would be pretty.
So, yeah. And then because I also ran low, my sleeve ribbing is contrast. It's the same that matches the bottom hem. This is in the pattern. Contrasting sleeve ribbing is not. But again, I ran short because it was my own fault. Yeah.
It's cute though. I like it.
It's cute. I like how it matches now. Yeah. As far as colorways go, the deep teal, my main color is Terrarium. This is Cloak, the really deep red. Warbler is the gold, Vapor is the blue, and then the creamy color is Crepe. So, very, very soft.
I would say most of those colors, there is something very similar in either shelter or tones, and you can use them interchangeably.
Yep.
If you were trying to find that in either shelter or tones.
Yeah. So,
very nice.
Yeah. FO number 1.
Woohoo! Well, while you're folding that up, I'll go ahead and talk about this. Yeah. I did not knit. I don't want to knock the camera. I did not knit. What is happening? Okay. I did not knit this while she untangles it from the mess. Okay. Oh, I think it was caught on the tag. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
This was knit for us as a shop sample by our lovely sweet customer Diane. So this is actually one I've wanted as a store sample for a while now. This is an older pattern, sorry as you hear all my joints creak, by Andrea Mowry called Marley. It is a fantastic beginner brioche pattern. So if you're looking to, you've learned how to brioche, or you're wanting to learn how to brioche, this is a great pattern because you only have increases. You have no decreases. So increasing in brioche is very simple because you're doing the brioche knit stitch, you're doing a yarn over, you go back in, you're basically knitting into the same stitch multiple times with the yarn over. So increasing is very, very simple. And you just have increases along the edge and along the middle spine. So it's a very simple triangular scarf or shawl with then when you reach the bottom, she has a border. I'm trying to show the border here. The border is garter stitch with your 2 yarns held together, held double. So it is fingering weight yarn. This sample was knit in Savvy Skeins in the colorway, I believe this was Gold Rush and then Gingerbread. I think we only have 1 skein left of each, unfortunately, but we do have some other similar colors in Life in the Long Grass and a couple others as well. There's no other modification. So this was knit to pattern, and it's just gorgeous. Like I said, it's great for beginner brioche. Any other details? US 4 and 5 needles. Like I said, it's called Marley by Andrea Mowry. It's one of her older, I wouldn't say like first pattern or anything, but it's one of her early patterns that she did. And it's just a very simple, easy, like I said, really great for learning or practicing your brioche.
Yes.
It's another great one if maybe you're a little bit advanced knitter at brioche and you're wanting to try single pass brioche. It is not written in the pattern. You can YouTube single pass brioche and use something like this to do it. Yeah. Again, much easier because there's no decreases, so you don't have to fiddle with that in single pass brioche. And if none of that's made any sense to you, it's fine. It's brioche. You can just ignore it. So that's that. Thanks, Diane. This is hanging out in the shop here. That.
Okay.
Yeah, because this will go up Saturday, so this will for sure be out.
So this is my finished Minerality.
Woo!
This is the 5th in the Knitily series by Caitlin Hunter. All over color work. Happiness.
It is very happy.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this one. I love it. I'm excited to wear it tomorrow when it releases. This was a challenge though. Most of your yoke in this pattern is 3-color work, which I can do, but I go very slow to try and make sure my floats are a good size. So I definitely got a little bogged down at certain points where I was like, okay, I'm ready for it to be done.
If you're not familiar with what 3-color color work means, basically you in one row you are working with 3 different colors rather than the traditional 2 strands, Yeah. If you're doing color work 2-handed, you can hold 1 color in one hand, 1 in the other. With 3-color, you can't. You honestly, the best way to do 3 color work would be to use like a color work guide ring, in my opinion, or figure out a way you can hold them all in your hand.
And
or slowly but surely pick one up, drop one, pick one up, drop one.
And I have not yet figured out how it works well for me to tension and hold all of them at the same time. When I knit 2 color work, I've gotten pretty quick, but I do pick up and put down every time. That's what works for me. And so I do the same thing in 3 color, but because then you're trying to navigate the 3 strands hanging off, it just takes longer. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. I was so worried about my floats, but I got there. It looks good. It has a really cool yoke that I know is on this design, and she has another one in testing now that has the same kind of a slight V-neck to it. You end up casting on stitches and then increasing kind of along a spine, almost like the center of a shawl. So really neat detail there. But once you do split for sleeves, the rest of the body is just 2 color work. So that went by very quickly. I did do the cropped version. There is a version or options to extend it. But again, I wanted a kind of layering piece to throw over a high-waisted skirt or a dress. So, yeah. And the only modification I made was that I shortened my bottom hem by about an inch. Just because I realized that I could do that and keep it to 1 skein of my main color. But if I would need to tap into the second one to finish extending it the full 3 inches that she calls for. We'll see. I'll wear it for a bit. There's always a chance I'll go back and add in more length there. But for right now, I'm very content. This is, I think I talked about this last time, but Farmer's Daughter for the teal and that dark blue. And then the pink and the gold are from the Chelsea Luxe Trunk Show as well. So, yeah.
And that's all fingering weight, so you could easily substitute any of our fingering weights.
Yes.
Isn't one of those on Yak?
Yes, the 2 Farmer's Daughter, the deep blue and the teal, are both a Yak base, and then the other 2 are Chelsea Luxe, the 80-10-10, so they're a cashmere. So this is a very soft sweater.
Very luxurious.
Yes.
You could easily substitute the Dawkins sock from Red Stag to give you that similar heathering effect.
Yep.
Or, of course, Chateau sock. Or any of our, we have Chelsea Luxe, a couple other things. So,
yeah.
Plenty of options.
Yes.
By the way, I feel like I'm either sitting up super straight or you're melting.
I'm melting a little bit. Sit up straighter. I am in the... I definitely have my feet propped up on the bar underneath the table. Just leaning into this relaxed moment here.
And I am sitting in the you have to have good posture hard chair. So
I think that's also a big part of it. I've got one of the really comfy chairs. Yeah. Sorry, Sharon.
It's okay. Okay. So let me talk about this first. So I have shown this several times on the podcast. The Arinco, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's a V-neck, beautiful top by a designer. And here it is.
Wow.
I ripped it out. The yarn just did not want to be that top. So I spent quite a few days frogging things, and you notice on last episode I frogged the painting stripes shawl, so I will show you what that has turned into now. But this has now been frogged. I'm still debating on what this will turn into. I actually had a thought driving into the shop here, maybe Vertices Unite, like a fun 1-color Vertices Unite. I don't know. What do you think, Siri? You're all climbing over here. Do you need a lap? Goodness.
She's just demanding affection.
She is, so I'm petting her. So that's what happened to that project. And then I also, so then the yarn that I ripped out last time was a tangled mess. But, what are you doing?
Making biscuits in the sweater over there.
I mean, it is super
kneading
soft.
It with her
Here, do you
paws.
need a blankie? There you go. Okay. So I cast on All the Angles by Stephen West. If you hit the camera, Surrey. All the Angles by Stephen West. So I finished, this is the section 1. I'm doing the small size of this one. It looks ridiculously small, but I'm sure it will even out here shortly.
Yeah.
So this is the colorway Ching, well, it's not the colorway Ching, it's Ching Fibers Nora, and then Red Stag Fiber Antique Leather. But this is the section I'm working on now. So it's just a triangular, angular shaped shawl with garter rows and eyelets, and it's just been a really nice kind of a soothing knit. It's memorizable as far as your patterning goes, but it's not so boring that you get bored with it, because you have garters for just a few rows, and then you have the eyelet row, and then you go back and forth and you're changing color. So it's been a fun little knit for sure. So that's that. And then I might as well just talk about this since you have a fur baby. This is the Lenny, which, by the way, by next episode, all of our new colors should have finally arrived, because they are being processed and should be shipping out soon. So you'll see all the new colors and a couple other colors that we were finally able to get in that weren't on back orders. Almond is one of them. I know that's always been a popular one for summer. Slate is another one. So it's going to be great. But this is the black Lenny, which we have plenty of. I snagged, because you know me, I love good black yarn. I snagged this for my plant-based knit-along happening this weekend, or starting this weekend. And I was going to do the outline tee, which I think I even talked about last time. And I actually precast it on the other day, but I'm not happy with it. It's one of those, I really want the finished object. I don't want to knit it for whatever reason. Honestly, couldn't tell you. But I'm thinking I'm going to knit the peacock tee. So we showed the peacock tee on our Instagram live this week. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yes.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Real pretty. You can look it up on Ravelry. It's a kind of like a feather fan scallop yoke, and then plain short sleeve, slightly cropped. But it was designed in Lenny, and I'm really thinking that's going to be what I cast on for plant-based knit-along. Like, what am I... Words. So, that's that. And then, might as well show you all the things. Yesterday, it's funny, because every now and then we do a sample sale, and we're actually going to be doing a sample sale over Memorial Day weekend. And basically we sell, because you guys know we have a lot of samples in the store, but samples that maybe are like kind of out of date, or they're not popular, or we don't carry that yarn at all, or there's no substitutions available for that yarn anymore. I will go through and gather up some of the samples, and we'll sell them. I wouldn't say at a discounted price, but of what they cost us to have made with the yarn, and then the knitting hours involved. And it just so happened, the other day, a customer had come in, and she was buying yarn to make her own Blurry Cowl by Locatelli, but she had really fallen in love with the colors that we'd used in our Blurry Cowl sample. Unfortunately, right after I made that Blurry Cowl sample, the colorways and the yarn were no longer available. So it was one that I could come close to replicating the colors, but I could never quite get a color that was close, really close. And she was just really, really wanting it and everything. I showed her everything that we could substitute, but again, it just wasn't quite the same. And she was like, oh, man, I just wish I could buy it. And I was like, okay, you can buy it. So she's like, really? And so she bought it. And so then what do? I go cast on another one.
Within... Like, the customer's still in the store.
Yeah. She's like, what colors are you going to knit? Maybe I want the new one. No, she really did like the old one.
Yeah.
But I have cast it on. I forgot how fun it really was to knit. And it's fast. I'm almost on the stripe section. So this is the Blurry Cowl by Locatelli. The colorways that I picked, this is Chelsea Luxe DK in Robin's Egg. And this is Hedgehog Fiber in Bandit. And so it's going to be a little more subtle contrast than the one we used to have in here. But this is going to be the stripe and the lace section at the end. So, again, it's one of those, for me, it's almost like a palette cleanser project. I've been going through and frogging a lot of my projects.
Excuse me.
It's okay, sorry.
Excuse me. I've got the cat on my lap and I'm sitting here brushing her and she's got all this fur coming off. And I'm like...
So, yeah, it's been a really nice, like I said, a palette cleansing type project. I literally cast this on yesterday and then I didn't really knit much on it last night. We ended up playing card games. So yeah, 2 skeins of DK is all you need. It is, like I said, just if you're kind of in a rut or maybe you need a change, it's a great little project to cast on. Also makes great gifts, honestly, because it's not too involved as far as knitting, but it's a very wearable item, so it'd be great for gift knitting. So again, Blurry Cowl by Locatelli. That's going to be coming a new shop sample very soon. Hi, Shori.
Okay.
Hi. Can she talk about her projects now?
Yeah. Okay. I've got one hand.
I'd say, I will scoops.
Here. Your turn.
My turn.
You get the fur, baby.
Hi.
Oh, I'm going to need the lint roller after this. Okay, so I have 2 more things, one of which I cannot show yet. It's a secret test knit, but I am going to show you the colorways because I'm very excited.
You sorry instead.
Yes.
Hi.
She's just a love bug this morning.
She is.
So this is a 4 skein fade shawl that I am test knitting. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with it. I love it.
It's going to be good.
I kind of went stash diving and settled on a palette that's not my normal, but I love it.
You say not your normal when
As
you're
I
literally wearing the color.
Yeah. I don't knit a ton of warm toned things. I tend to lean towards the teals and blues are my immediate go-to usually. But I guess I'm looking at the pile over there. That's a bunch of gold and some deep red in there. So I guess maybe it's becoming my palette. Here we go.
Maybe it's your spirit color.
There we go.
Your spirit color.
So these are my 4 colors. This is my fade.
So pretty.
I am currently working on the 3rd color right now, and I've got this one ready to wind up. Once again, I am just working through my Farmer's Daughter Fiber Sock Squad stash. So similar to my Minerality, a bunch of this is Farmer's Daughter Fibers, including this first one and then the last 2 solids. The second color is Lugasna, a Life in the Long Grass colorway that I finally am using. I love it.
It's quite nice.
Yes, there's some really fun little almost blue specks every once in a while in there. Very fun to see those pop up. But hopefully, maybe not the next time we podcast, but maybe the time after that I'll be able to share it with y'all.
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to come out in what?
It's supposed to come out in June.
Yeah.
So hopefully soon. Hopefully soon I can share. I do actually have a 3rd test knit that is not even cast on yet. That is also a secret one. So there's that. But the yarn isn't here yet. I haven't received that yet. So, one I can show you.
She's going to have to join Test Knitters Anonymous here in a minute.
Mm-hmm. It's just so fun.
I mean, we're not complaining. Why are you biting my needles? Stop.
This is the beginning of the yoke. I need to switch needles this morning. It's very cramped at this point. For my Fantail, this is a test knit for wool and pine. I just keep test knitting. They put out calls and I'm like, oh, but it's so pretty. And then I get towards the end of it and I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. And then I see the next one come through and I'm like, oh, okay, no, I'm doing that one too. But once again, I am using stash, so I feel pretty good about doing that.
Yeah.
Fantail is an all over or nearly all over lace pattern. You kind of start making these columns with like center double decreases all the way down. They almost start to look like feathers the further along you get. And it's a short sleeve kind of summery tee, a little bit flowy. And I'm using Red Stag Riyadh. So once again, just delightfully fancy and so soft. Yeah, hopefully next time I will either have a finished or very nearly finished sweater to share with y'all. I think by the time this goes live, should not hit the table, just shook the camera, so sorry. The pre-order for the pattern will be out. So they do their pre-orders where you can get a slight discount and then you get all the information about what you'll need to make this pattern.
Which is nice, especially if you do want to try and find something in your stash. You still have plenty of time if you can't to, order yarn and get it in before. Because don't they do little knit-alongs a lot of times in Ravelry and stuff?
I feel like there tends to be a decent, yeah.
Even if it's not like an official knit-along, there's just a whole bunch of people that cast it on. So, sorry, I was getting very distracted because they were doing something next door.
Yeah.
And we've been very invested. Like, what is happening?
What is happening?
Because, again, yet another place moved out. So,
yeah. So,
restaurant, I say. So, we're always waiting with bated breath. Is it something good that's coming in? Hopefully so. We'll see. I still think a coffee shop would be amazing.
Yeah. Would love coffee shop.
Would coffee shop with foods, please. Yes. Preference.
Yes.
Anywho.
Yes.
Back to the actual scheduled podcast. We are going to show you guys a few things that we have that have come in since we last podcast. We got some of the stuff in for local yarn store day, and we still have some. This is our last set of the blush needles from Leica. We do have the cords and some of the tips left, although I think we're getting low on tips too.
Yeah.
But this is the last set. If you are looking for the blush, we also finally, I mean, it was months and months and months and months and months that this was on order. Okay, thank you, Sari. That the Grove needles came in. So the Grove, these are the green bamboo needles. These are not driftwood or birchwood, because the blush are birch.
Yep.
The blush are birch. Driftwood is obviously driftwood. And then these are the green bamboo needles. So very nice. And this is like a really pretty linen case that they come in.
Fun fact, I peeked in there. The cords on those ones are also green.
Fun. And like I said, we have plenty of the pink cords in stock. I'm pretty sure we have decent supply of the original black cords as well. And we have the clear swivel ones that come with the copper sets. I am out of copper sets, I'm pretty sure. But I do have individual copper needles and their matching cords if you wanted to build on it or build your own.
They're right behind me, actually.
Yes, they are. We also have some Chow Goose sets as well. Still available. I didn't bring those over. We also got in the Prim crochet sets, which, again, those were back ordered for over a year.
Yeah.
So those are in, should you be interested. I have a fuzzy in my nose again. What else? Oh, we also got in, just in time for Planting It Along. Like I said, we did get some Lenny in. I don't remember if we showed it. Do you want to go grab those 4 colors that we got in real quick?
Yes. Let's see if I remember which ones we got in.
Beige, black, the chinos green, and that blue that I always call ice blue, but it's not. So a couple weeks ago, we were able to get basically the last of the stock of Lenny that they had at that time. But like I said, we did get confirmation yesterday that we are getting all the new colors in multiple sweater quantities. So if you're looking for that new color, there's like 5 new colors, and like I said, some of the other ones. But we also have plenty of these really nice neutrals. Of course, this is the black that I showed you. This is beige. Beige is great for summer, you guys.
Yeah.
This is the chinos green, which is really fun. It's not too chartreusey or neon-y at all. And then what is this one actually called? Is that light?
Light blue.
Light blue. It's like a very icy baby blue kind of color. Again, great for summer. So we have all of those in plenty of sweater quantities. We also, golden brown, we still have plenty in sweater quantities, and a couple of the other colors we do. Some of the other ones we have just like onesie twosies, but maybe you're not ready to make, well, there's a lot of striped sweaters out there that you could do. But what I was thinking the other day is this is very similar in weight to the Garthenor. You could do a linen version or a Lenny version of the L'escargot blue from Espace Tricot in all the fun summery stripes.
That would be really nice.
That would be so fun because that is like a super simple shawl.
Yeah.
Again, kind of a palette cleanser shawl, but it's just that perfect piece to wrap around you, like put on a maxi dress, or again, you could, the way it's shaped, you could wear it like a sarong practically. Yep. That'd be so fun. You could just get a whole bunch of different colors and stripe them out. That would be so fun.
And I love how all of the Lenny colors kind of play well together. I think SandnesGarn does a great job a lot of times with their colorways, that they all
go together.
There's a very similar tone to a lot of them. Or just saturation, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's the saturation. It's just gorgeous. And of course, you could like say pick beige as a main color and then just stripe all the different colors, or your favorites. But anyway, digressing. Then we got in our summer order. Give you some of these colors as well. Of Mojave from Kelbourne Woolens. So Mojave is 60% cotton, 40% linen. So if you're wanting a more cotton yarn, but you don't like the feel of 100% cotton, this yarn is definitely for you. It is marketed as DK. I call it more like a light DK to sport.
Yeah.
That being said, I used this color. This is flamingo pink to knit my Anchor summer tee. And it's great. I got gauge. It was fantastic. Yeah. I feel like, especially with the cottony linen patterns, if it calls for Lenny, you can substitute the Mojave pretty easily, even though it's slightly finer. But then again, if you have a sport weight pattern or a light DK pattern, you can easily substitute this as well. I know also several people that have doubled the Lenny, so either marled it or held it double to equate for patterns that call for a heavier weight, like a heavy worsted or Aran linen. So things like the Deshane by Layla Rabe, or the Seven Sisters top. I think it's Seven Sisters top. It's a blue sky fibers pattern. You can hold it double and either same color or marl them, and it works great for that. So again, this is flamingo pink. Go ahead.
Pickle. This is called Pickle, and I love it.
Very bright. It's a very fun, bright neon kind of color. If you're not into super neon, this is just called turquoise, and it's just a really pretty summery teal.
Prussian blue. Really nice kind of teal undertoned blue.
This is cactus green. Just a nice medium green.
A seafoam green if you want something more minty.
This is sky blue. Great for denim. Yep.
Electric blue if you'd like to match Sharon's outfit today. Very bright. Reminds me of like the colorway Hero
Yes.
from Ching. Very, very happy.
It's a very popular color because there's a little local boutique that this came from. ShopWorthyGrace.com. I don't have an affiliate code, but the amount of people I send over there, I should. But this color is like all over in her store. And then, of course, you've got Hero. You've got this color. There's some Circulo that's that same color. Savvy Skeins has that one that's variegated with that same color. So it's a very popular color. I think it gets kind of popular during summer because you got like red, white, and blue, patriotic theme stuff. Super fun.
We gotta open here in a minute.
Smoke gray. How fast
Bright
can you do it?
yellow. This is very much like a highlighter yellow.
Very. This is plum brown. It's a purple brown.
Dandelion, which I'll put the two side by side so you can see the difference there.
More Crayola yellow.
Very much dandelions.
Yeah. This is natural, so basically a linen cotton natural color.
Mauve, which is lovely.
Lavender, which is definitely more of a periwinkle blue, I would call, than lavender, but it's called lavender.
Raspberry.
Deep blue. This one is definitely a darker version of the sky blue. It is just truly deep blue with no teal undertone.
Fuchsia.
It is fuchsia.
Yep.
And then this is slate gray. So that's all we got. And I'm going to kind of wrap it up fast because legitimately we need to open the store. We were long-winded more than I expected. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And hopefully see you in the store or online for our plant-based knit-along.
Yeah.
Join us. We'd love to see you participate. Bye, guys.
Bye.